Okay, hello everyone. I think this is hopefully all good. Make sure it's all running. I think it's all connected. Yeah, looks like we're all good. I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. It's been a while since I think the last time I streamed, maybe a couple of weeks or so. Been busy with fruit, comics, etc., etc. We've been submitted on Monday all of the thumbnails for issue 4 of Fruit, which is the final issue of like the first run and everything on there. So it's pretty nice to have that all sort of wrapped. So this week has been kind of a bit of a mad rush to get all of that in, and then script and sort of thumbnails and stuff for storyboards, and then it means that I can have done a little bit more sort of inking and traditional work at the moment. I'll bring you around to the front. So yeah, I've been working this week on like a couple of pin-ups for kind of promo stuff, different promotional pieces that all sort of go into the Kickstarter and various sort of different things for Fruit's launch. So the piece that we're going to be, there's a couple that I've been working on. This was the first one that I did as part of. Oh, it was part of the small press day at Mike's Comics in Bristol. So we kind of brought quite a few comic people from the local area were there, just drawing and stuff like that as well. And I started on this pin-up of Peaches, one of the characters from Fruit. That one is to be coloured, and then the one that I'm going to be making sort of the way on today is of the main character Cherry, which is this one here. I finished it off this morning, all of the inks and stuff. So this is all done on Bristol board, and yeah, it's a nice chance to get some screen tone and stuff on there as well, which I always like to do. It's been a while since I've inked anything, so I was kind of pleased how it all came out. I feel sometimes it takes quite a while just to get, that sort of penmanship or calligraphy down again. That's pretty much what we can do. So I can jump into it, and then we'll see how we get on. So as you can see, I have taken the page and I've scanned it into Photoshop. I do all of the coloring digitally because outside of painting, I don't have time to sit there and paint comic book pages. I've tried it. It's super time consuming, and it's not for me, unfortunately. I brought the inks in, and then what we do is we put set it to multiply as a multiply layer, and then the first thing, which is kind of the most laborious and boring part, it's something you should probably get someone else to do, but I don't have that operation size at the moment, is flatting all the different areas of the image. So basically use the lasso tool in Photoshop, and we're gonna go around and lasso all of the different parts of the image that we're going to separate out. So it's just basically following all of the inks lines here. And then I'm just going to get started really, and whilst I'm doing that, let you guys all know, obviously, to like the video and subscribe if you're enjoying watching. I try and stream once a week, kind of on a Friday, usually for a couple of hours, just sort of to catch up on what I've been up to and the various goings on in the studio, etc., etc., and occasionally try and put out a bit of a longer form videos as well. I've been meaning to do like a tour of some of my sketchbooks from art school. I've got a couple of sort of notable sketchbooks that I feel were kind of like a bit of a turning point for me in terms of my career as an artist, and sort of getting to where I am, which is kind of, I think they're quite interesting. They're not like any marvels of artistic genius, but I feel like they were kind of like the sketchbooks that gave me the impetus to be like, oh, I think I can actually maybe do this as a career, which I'm very lucky to sort of be in the position to be able to do. Cool. So I'm going to start off with this mask. I'm going to mask out. So hotkeys for masking and lassoing. Spacebar will keep the lasso and let you reorientate the page, like this here, so you can keep going round, so you don't have to do it in one massive go. And then the Alt key is going to let you remove sections like these windows for the mask from the selection, and then the Shift key is going to let you add any bits that you missed. And that's kind of the hotkeys that you'll need for flatting. And then it's basically just grunt work, going through and doing all of the different sections. And then I'm just going to do all in one go. So once I've got that, you select. So you can do two options on your colors. I know some people like to just flat in very random colors, I guess, or like very out there colors, and it means that they can just use it for selection. So for example, if you see here on this layer, I have a different layer for the flats that I've just put on there. And then now what I can do is just hit the magic wand tool and select that area, and it means that I can then paint on top of it if I want to, and it will paint on top of that layer, and I don't have to worry about anything before selecting on it. So that's a useful one if you are painting. So people sometimes use quite random colors rather than like local colors for what they're doing, just so that they can like use it as a means to paint over. With my comic stuff, I've kind of been in two minds, and I think like now I'm more in this world that I kind of enjoy more flat colors in my inked work. And there's a point where like I like to paint as well, and I sort of leave that level of rendering and depiction of form to paint, because it's kind of what I think paint's good at. And then there's aspects of ink drawings that I really like, I think are really cool, and I think they kind of lean more into the graphic style, and I like to sort of keep those two things separate. So when coloring these pieces, I was talking to a friend about this the other day, who's an amazing painter, Nicolas, and we were saying that it's kind of about making the colors in service to the drawing, because you spent so long doing this, drawing or ink or line work, and then you're just gonna like render and render and render over the top of it for hours, and kind of lose a lot of the elements of what that line work originally was. So it's kind of working out how you want to color something to be in service of the drawing that you've put down, rather than coloring in service of like form, because at that point you might as well just paint the thing, rather than do any of this intricacies. And yeah, so this is when it's going to get a bit fiddly, and I'm going to start going quiet, because I don't want to lose my selections. But if you do lose it, you can always go back and fix it afterwards. Trying to get this coat in here. It's a bit of a tricky shape. But yeah, one of the ways that I think you can get away with, you can use flats and then kind of embellish them a little bit more, is by do you know what? I think I'm just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna lasso the rest of it on there. Is by using gradients. It's kind of the main thing that I feel like kind of elevates those flat colors and can really help it pop. Right. And then make sure I get this little section that I wanted in here. And yeah, for anyone, that's not what I wanted. Anyone that's interested, this is Cherry, who's the main character, one of the main characters from my comic book or manga or whatever you would like to call it, Fruit, which is coming out at the end of this year. I've been working on it for probably about the last year or so, kind of on off, after like an initial Kickstarter, and it's kind of really exciting to sort of finally see the sort of end of that process, kind of coming around to it. And if you wanted to find out more about Fruit, and sort of keep up to date, the best way is to check my social media stuff. So you can follow me on Instagram, which is at Callum Gillespie, but you can also find it in the description of this video. And the other place is on the Discord. So I have a small Discord which has a number of sort of different comic creators on there, and we kind of share a little bit of what we're working on and everything like that as well. So if you are a person who writes or draws comics yourself or manga, feel free to join in there. It'd be great to have you, and great to see what you're working on. And share a little bit about what I'm working on and what's going on in the world of fruit. Gosh, right. So I think trying to remember what sections are what part of the dress, so that you're not over or over selecting different areas. But it doesn't need to be perfect. It's a common misconception. I think sometimes perfect coloring and perfect stuff looks a little bit weird. I think we live in a world now where it's quite easy to obtain perfect through like computer tools, etc., that sometimes like you can see here, there's loads of pencil marks and everything just from where I've had the drawing on the page, and I've put the line in a different place, and I'm just going to leave it because that's kind of half the point, right? These things are pages that I've made and they exist, and that's kind of part of the enjoyment and like the process for me. So like I like the fact that I can just have this and look at it, and maybe someday someone else will own it and they might put it on their wall or something, but that's kind of the point. It kind of has a little bit of a human element, right? Like these hands aren't perfect, there's a little bit of pencil and God knows what else on that section there, but I'm just going to leave it because I don't know, it just speaks a little bit about the piece, right? Right, and then colors. I think it's going to be like a dark. Cherry's has a particular sort of style. I'm thinking like a darkish purpley blue. Maybe like, I do have a reference as well. Maybe that's too light. I'll have a think. Maybe it has to be a bit lighter than that. It's way too saturated there. Yeah, I quite like that sort of lilac-y colour. It's like a more saturated colour. Yeah, I think that's probably a better ballpark for where we want to go with it. And then I'm going to do the legs to little like garter things to match. Not really sure what you call these. I just they were on the reference and I thought they were kind of the coolest things, and I wish I had a pair, but I don't really know what they are. Kind of like a jean knee knee extension or something. That's that, and then you gotta make sure you're pushing the right key as well when you move your selection. Sort of decided to stream a little bit later this evening just to see if it made any difference. Usually I streamed around about midday. It's quite difficult because a lot of people that follow online are from America and trying to work out different time zones and stuff that work for people. To sort of be able to tune in and everything is it's not the easiest, but great. There's a big bit missing there. Oh god, I nearly lost my nearly lost my water. I'm just gonna check everything's all right with the stream. Getting a error message from YouTube, so just gonna check. I'm on a different setup than my usual. A little bit less powerful. Looks like it might be struggling. Let's have a look. Might just be maxing my CPU to oblivion, but we shall see. Bam, bam, bam. See if it's doing anything. Come on. Is definitely slow. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it and see and hope. And if not, it's uploading a really stupid video. I'll just take it down. I think you just have to embrace the fact that it might not be working that well. You could just go back to my glorious task of flatting. This is where it's annoying. So I've done a load of just detail on these. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Did a load of detail on this. Just hoping that this all sits all right. And tricky bit nearly over. Then I can concentrate again. Or not. Just sort of yap again. Right, that's that. And we need to get these. Oh God, Photoshop has grinded to a halt. Okay. And try and loop some of this back in. Right, I'm going to have a lot of cleaning up to do afterwards because Photoshop isn't agreeing that nicely with me today.